Do you like having big arms? Well, you can't get big arms without big forearms. And today I'm gonna show you a couple exercises that will literally only take you minutes to blow these suckers up. The first exercise I wanna show you, we're gonna target kind of the top of the forearm and a little bit of the base of the bicep here. So we're gonna be looking at that brachioradialis and the brachialis muscle. We're gonna do some reverse curls. I'm gonna use a 41-inch band. You can use dumbbells or free weights to do this as well. The bands are a lot more convenient, especially if you're at home and you don't have a lot of equipment. I'm also popping on a pair of Clench grips here just to give me some more comfort and traction. And all you need is one single 41-inch band. Get in here with a shoulder width stance. And then we're going to basically overhand grip this thing, or pronated grip, and then pin those elbows into our side and curl this thing up. And curling our wrists back as well, because curling the wrist back is gonna really flex that brachioradialis. So as we go up, curl them wrists back, big squeeze at the top, let it down nice and slow. Keep those elbows pinned into our sides. Ooh. And just keep that tempo nice and slow. Pause at the top and let it down. And I'd recommend doing a few sets of that 8 to 15 rep range, and you'll notice those forearms will start to get really pumped up. Another form of the reverse curl that you can do is kind of an isolated reverse curl. And I like to have like a bench or a pad or something that I can rest my forearm on here. And then all I'm gonna be doing is curling my wrist. And I want the resistance pulling my wrist into that downward position, and that'll focus like solely on that brachioradialis. So here I got a 41-inch band with a low anchor point, and then I got a clench band handle to make my grip really easy and comfortable. And then to adjust the resistance, it's pretty easy. I can use a heavier band if I want, or I can just loop this band kind of around my band handle to set that tension. And like I said, you want, basically when you're propped up here, you want that resistance pulling your wrist into that flex position. And then we basically just, the exercise is straightening our wrist out. Big squeeze, hold it there, flex that brachioradialis, let it down nice and slow, and just grind through these reps. Now this is a single unilateral exercise. You can also grab a dumbbell to accomplish the same thing. I mean, you have that resistance pulling down to the ground. Next up, we're gonna do one of my favorites, which is a standing wrist curl. So that's gonna kind of hit the muscles on the bottom of your forearm, all the different flexor carpi muscles that are down there. And probably the easiest way to do this is with a barbell, or the most common way. So I got a barbell here, I'm gonna show you how to set it up, and then I'll show you how to set it up if you don't have a barbell. It's really easy. And you can go heavy on these because your wrists are usually pretty strong here, but I put the bar behind me. That way if it gets too heavy, I can just drop it. I don't have to worry about it like running into anything on the way down. So you just squat it up, get it basically so that your arms are hanging straight. And then all we're doing is we're gonna let our fingers out as far as we can before we drop it, and then roll them back up, curl those wrists, big squeeze, pause, let it down nice and slow, let it unroll, exhale, squeeze, let it down. We're gonna hit as many reps as we can get until we can't come up anymore, and then you can either just drop it or set it down however you want. And that's my probably preferred way to do this, but also you can use resistance bands to do the same thing. Once again, I want to keep it behind me. That way if I drop it, it doesn't slingshot down into my feet or anything like that. So I'm going to use a Clench Footplate, 41-inch band. And then I basically just tuck that 41-inch band under this back channel of the footplate. Get it nice and loose. And then grab yourself a rod or a pipe, something sturdy, and that's got some good grip traction so it doesn't slip out of your hands. And then slide it right through this band. Set the band up nice and even. So it's just gonna behave exactly like that barbell would have. And now we can pick it up. And what you're gonna notice here is that band is really gonna have a different strength profile to it. We get it up, it's gonna be really pulling down, so you gotta be super careful not to let this drop out of your fingers. And then curl it up. Big squeeze, it's gonna get heavier as we go up. Whoo! Let it down nice and slow. Ooh, just grind through those reps. And this one, you don't have to go fast. Forearms will just get super pumped up. Nice slow tempo. And then drop it just like you would before. And that's how I like to do the standing wrist curls. All right, I saved the best for last. We're gonna do some old school wrist rollers. Basically, they utilize like a rod or a broom handle or whatever with a rope, and then you attach it to some weights on the end, and then we're gonna roll this thing up like a winch. And the hardcore old school way to do it is to roll it all the way up. Making sure to get good flexion and extension of the wrists, big squeeze. And then once you get to the top, crank it around and over, hold it, and then work your way down. So instead of twisting up, now we're gonna rotate down, and we're gonna work the bottom end of the forearm, let it down all the way to the ground. And we keep going. And the trick with this is to keep it slow and controlled. I'm doing it fast just to speed it up a little bit. And then that's one set. So I would do a few sets of those, and those will blast your forearms. And obviously you can change how high off the ground you are. You can stand up on a box to get more rope out, or you can put more weight on the bottom, do multiple sets. And this is just one of my favorites because it's a classic and it's old school. And if you don't have any weights or anything, I mean, you can use anything you got laying around the house for a weight. But another way that you can do these is using resistance bands, and it just puts a whole nother level of challenge to the exercise. So you can grab yourself a 41-inch band and the same tube that you were using for the other exercise, and then I just tie like the same loop that we do on all the anchor points, loop the band around, cinch it up nice and tight, and then you can just stand on the band with one hand and do the same thing. Roll that band up, and it's gonna get harder and harder as you go up. Trying to hold those wrists in a fixed position. Woo! Big burn, go until you can't go anymore, and then start on the way down. Controlling it, nice and slow, all the way to the bottom. Forearms are just pumped now. And that is another way that you can do the wrist rollers with bands. So the beauty of forearms is they're a smaller muscle group, and you'll only really need to throw in like 1 to 2 of these exercises on your arm days to really notice a difference. So I would give it a try, throw in your favorite ones to get started, and you should see a huge difference in forearm size and strength, and also your grip strength will get better. So give it a try. Let me know which one is your favorite exercise down in the comments below. If you liked what you saw today, be sure to smash that like button. Also, if you want to see more content like this, check out the on-screen video links. We got tons of content on our channel just like this. Furthermore, if you need any of the bands or accessories shown in today's video, head over to clenchfitness.com. We will hook you up, and thank you for watching.